Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I'm going to start out by bragging. It is so seldom that I know the products that I'm using that I just have to show you this. And I am positive that I bought this used. Anyway, the papers that I'm going to be using today are this out of this book. So it's a DCWV. The Primrose Ensemble, Primavera, Amarillo, Palito, I don't know. Anyway, it is, a lot of these pages have glitter on them. So if this is not the time to use glitter, I don't know when is. So that aside, I've pre-selected some papers. I'm going to cut this one up into strips and use it somehow on this boho thing that I'm working on. Oh, I forgot to say, this is day 95 of the 100-day project. I sat, and of course, like many of us, multiple videos are filmed in one day. And if you, and I certainly hope you have watched day 93 and day 94, which was the rust. So my hands were pretty gross. I wore gloves for the second video, but of course by then the damage had been done. Anyway, they were pretty gross, and I thought, well, I could begin with an apology. But what I did, what I did was I went to my pantry, and I found, you know how you can buy that real lemon in the little plastic lemon thing? Well, I guess I had a real lime. Best before date was December 2017. It had never been opened. Anyway, it did remove some of the stains. So imagine what fresh inventory might look like, how effective it might be. Anyway, okay, onward. So I intend to, cut these strips down in some fashion or other and use them either to decorate pages or for belly band or side tucks or whatever, the usual stuff. I'll put that aside. Oh, one thing that I did, and I haven't shared it yet because goodness knows there's so much else happening. I did finally put together a journal with a boho theme. Now, I worked on the cover last night for a few hours, it seemed. I had pre-selected papers for the signatures. So at some point I will, be showing you what's in it. But what I wanted to do today, and this is just, neither of these are two-sided, but these are two papers that I thought work kind of well with clashing is the name of the game. How boho can you go collab that Rach and Bella are hosting. So what my intention was, was to, oh, it's not perforated, was to, because these are just printed on one side, to create sort of a masterboard type effect. No, let me rephrase that. To create a masterboard, full stop. And now this is cardstock, this is flimsier, so I guess we'll see what the final end use will be. And of course, I won't get both these done in class, but yeah, so the intention would be to collage at the back of these, and then, well, I guess probably with this lighter weight paper, use it as a signature page, and of course whatever is surplus, and there will be surplus, can be used for cards or something else. So maybe without further ado, I will begin. And I have pulled together a few things. Well, these can be used closer to the completion of the process. I also want, I don't know, can you see that? I also want to use this stencil at some point. This was one of the stencils that I got from, in my first Temu order. A whole series of these women with these florally, this flowery hair headpiece. So I want to use that at some point. And then, of course, I have these things that you may have seen before. I have some other cardstock strips that were used in that Still Secret journal, as well as, now these are actual little cards that I got, or these folded papers that I got in some, they have a kind of, I don't know, can you see the woven design in them? So, probably be ashamed to tear these up for, well, it's just a different paper. So probably won't use those, but I do have other odds and ends, plus scrap pieces from the kit, because I ended up using several of the pages, and I only had 2 of the, I don't know, how many kits are available? 14? not quite. I only bought 2 of them. And this, of course, is that cover sheet from, this is a freebie, which is the cover sheet, I guess, from one of the kits. So let's begin. There's no right or wrong, no up or down, so we can just, so might as well use as much of this as we can. I guess we can't use that. Now, I think I'll salvage the word, because even though part of the N is gone, I think Bohemia is still a word that could be incorporated, or have it run off the edge of the page and let people's minds fill in the remainder of the word. So typically I like a torn edge. It's even better when the tearing is straight. Now this, of course, already looks like a collage. So, whoops, not much would need to be done there. Now I will, okay, this is the thin paper. I think some of these, this is like almost a cardstocky type thing. Maybe I'll see how far I can go with, just normal weight paper. And if I end up having to use some of that, I will. If I can get away without using it, I will. I might save this. I love this paper, and I've used it elsewhere in that project. So these are cardstock, but again, they're so narrow that it might work. Okay, and this is just a light, this is a very just normal paper, coffee paper, weight. And it is just, I don't know if you can even see that, a very light pink on an even lighter pink background. And of course, there are these things that are so beautiful. So maybe and rather than waste any more time tearing, maybe I'll just put something like this down at the edge. I've got, oops, several glue sheets ready to go here. And maybe if you see that I'm being too cheap and not changing my glue papers often enough, maybe just telepathically send me a message so that I don't push my luck and then get glue on the front side. Because goodness knows I've been known to do that. Oh, I suppose I could have also, but then I think it makes too much glare probably for you guys. Could have also pulled out these sort of cutting boards that the dollar store sells, because those, you know, they're about the right weight. They do the job of protecting a surface. This is a huge one. Maybe I should make some headway here by, and I'm sorry if you can't see every single thing. It is sort of the reality of video. To mind you, I should, sorry, I keep talking to myself. By tearing a piece of paper into smaller pieces, yes, it adds more work to what we're doing, but it also allows a person to carry a common element from one place in the collage to another, if that's a style that you like and a process that you like. I happen to like that because it makes the eye travel around. I should find my card for a little smooshing. Okay, so typically what I would do now that I have the one piece there, while I still have this kind of at hand, I would let me cut this down maybe like so. Not cut, tear. So that I can have it appear in 3 different places. And okay, I'm throwing that out because it had already been used. So I hope that you are well. I hope that, let me see what's happening there. I hope that you are well. I hope that you're crafting. It's a Saturday afternoon. Kind of cloudy. It doesn't know if it wants to rain or not. I might have to turn on some light. Maybe I will do that. I hope it doesn't. Hope it makes things better. Not, oh, that's that warm light. Don't like that. And I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's all in my head. But I find that sometimes these lights, it might be that LED, mind you, they're both LEDs, so it kind of almost gives me a headache. So, oh, I didn't glue down the third one. Did I manage to lose it already? Started digging through the pile. Oh, this is it. And then I'd better use some of the kit papers. Maybe I'll just plunk this one in the middle, but this has just a torn edge out of the book. So, and I said I preferred a torn edge. And of course, you know, depending on where a particular piece of paper ends up in the collage, you may not have to actually tear anything. Move my water bottle over so give me some space here, man. This is some serious collaging that's going on. You know, if something is going to be on the outer edge, then obviously you don't need to tear the edge of the part that is butted up to the edge of the paper. If something like this, if I'm plunking something like this down in the middle, then we know that it will be, something will be covering it on all sides. So save the time and effort that you would spend you know, cutting or tearing edges. And then again, I think some people really like the, I hope I can use this too. In fact, I should use this soon. But let's also use this. Now I can put this against another edge. Okay, I don't need to do anything at that side. I can just... yeah, so anyway, I hope you're doing well. I wonder if you're doing anything with the... Did you catch boho fever? I think it's running rampant through the world. It is, oh, that's not a tearing surface, although I suppose it could have worked. It is something that I'm just enjoying so very much, and I'm kind of glad. You know, obviously I don't have any say in who does what when, but I'm so glad that Rachel came up with this, and that I kind of jumped on the bandwagon. Because it kind of forced me to, you know, stop collecting, stop saving, stop planning, stop talking about it, and just do it. I haven't said much in any of my videos about my age or whatever, but I do have to say that I'm not a spring chicken. I think I'm definitely young at heart and still have most of my faculties, and it just seems to me, and it irks me that that's not, mind you, who knows if that one's straight. I could be trying to line it up to something that isn't straight itself. Anyway, not a spring chicken, but I also think that I kind of am young at heart and blah, blah, blah. So I feel a sense of urgency. I feel like I started late. Nobody's guaranteed anything in terms of, you know, lifespan or health or anything like that. So I just feel like, okay, don't let moss grow under you. Get on with it. If you want to do it, do it. And stop waiting for, you know, the planets to be aligned and you have your lucky green socks on and, you know, everything to be just perfect, because that day never comes. And just do it. Just do it. Okay, maybe even though I have this as well. I was going to say, even though I fussy cut around some of those pieces that are in the kit, or in the kits that I have, whoops, like this tag, like this. Oh, that's an envelope. I can use these. Mind you, that's already stuck to an envelope. I can use, mind you, I shouldn't be looking at these little guys just yet, because those circles might come in handy. Oh, these are from the freebie snippet thing. That's in the Rachel's Ko-fi envelope. So they're, you know, and I can use pieces of this stuff because use those. That's an envelope, that's an envelope. Excuse me. Okay, put this aside. Hopefully I don't have to dip into these anymore. Anyway, so I don't know what your circumstances are. I don't know your age or your health or, you know, whether your other obligations, you know, whether, like I think some people have kind of, are at a point in their lives or have circumstances where perhaps they're widowed or they're needing to take care of, you know, kids or ailing spouses or whatever. Income is a factor as well. Now, allegedly, and I say allegedly because I don't know if it's true, we all have the same number of hours in a day, minutes in an hour, that sort of thing. So it, you know, it sort of begs the question, are we using our time in a wise, nurturing, I don't want to say productive, because who said we have to be productive, even though that is sort of the baby boomer motto. Are we content? Are we satisfied? Are we calm? You know, all of those things kind of come into play, I think. So again, regardless of age and time and circumstances, I think we all owe it to ourselves to, you know, kind of, I don't like that there, to kind of look out for number one, get a few things done that need doing, that make us happy. Boy, between static electricity and sticky fingers, sometimes it's hard to get rid of something. Now, is that going to, mind you, it's too much alike. Let's put it, don't think so hard. I better, oh no, I don't have to worry. Yes, I do have to worry about that. Anyway, that was my little urging / pep talk. Look out for number one. Make sure you're doing something each day that pleases only you. And whether it is a way to supplement income or just kind of an expensive hobby, I guess is determined by our spending habits and whether or not we put ourselves out there and try to sell the things we make. Either way, you can't put, you can't put a price on mental health and a happy heart. Whoa, that's my elbow sticking to that. Okay, so let's see, what else? Now sometimes, maybe I won't do that today though. Sometimes I keep flipping my page so that there is really no upside, right side, you know, that kind of thing. I'll put this down here. So you can see there's sort of a variety of the bright, vibrant, bold one, you know, colors, like those book pages or book borders. And then the more muted, paler colors that came out of the kit. And of course, how it ultimately turns out will depend on what the final, focal points that are added or whatever. Maybe I should put that there. Change my mind. I'm going to add some of these more nondescript little stripes here. Probably use them all up. Oh, see, I didn't tear the edge. The sides are not torn either, but I guess that will have to do. I better do both ends, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, this is, I hope I said that it's day 95. So I had done a couple of videos earlier in the day. And I hope if you have an Etsy shop and if you live in Canada, that you seek out, well, the best way is to subscribe and also to hit the notification bell. I have a non-playlist video that I posted also today, which this actual day is June 17th, about one of the features that Canada Post offers to, help us save some money on postage. So, like I say, if you have an Etsy shop, thinking about an Etsy shop, trying to save money on postage, and this can even be your personal postage. It doesn't even have to be necessarily for a business, even though it is called small business plan or program or whatever the heck. Anyway, it's worth watching, I believe, because I found it out the hard way or the slow way. And, the whole idea here with YouTube is to help each other and level out the playing field a bit so that it's not... I like to say, I'm surprised I haven't said it on a video yet. I like to say that I don't have the time to make all the mistakes myself. So I want to learn from your mistakes. I want to learn from your successes. I want to shorten that time frame so that, like chop chop, let's get on with it. This paper is so thin, it's abraded there just from, maybe I looked at it cross-eyed or something. Yeah, so that's worthwhile checking out. Anyway, that's kind of not what I started out to say. What I started out to say is that, so I was at 94 video, like day 94 was kind of in the slush pile. So to finish the 100-day project, that means 6 more videos. So I sat down and did some brainstorming. Okay, what do I want to accomplish before this project is over? I needed at minimum 6 more topics or 6 more ideas. And I doubled that, and of course didn't capture them all. So it just makes me kind of excited that there are more ideas than there will be days that need ideas. Although, of course, just because the 100-day project is over doesn't mean that, you know, the videos grind to a halt. So all those ideas are still to be acted upon. Let's just do this. I just want to use up those stripes and know that I don't have to touch them again. Don't have anything down here. So I really hope that that you're kind of enjoying not only my channel, my content, but are finding a lot of useful ideas and people to watch, because and I do know that I have said this before, before COVID forced us to, you know, to sort of lie low and stay home and keep ourselves amused / distracted. I always thought that YouTube was for teenage boys with arrested development doing dumb things on tape, on video. So, I mean, clearly that is not, I mean, certainly there's a lot of that, but that is not the main goal, and that is not the reason that most people seek to watch YouTube. So I'm amazed and impressed and awed by the amount of content that is on YouTube. And of course, it's not all true or good or pure or of the same quality. I mean, I guess that's freedom for you. I do know that it's been a huge, whoops, let me line this up, a huge learning curve, a huge growth process involved in doing this. And it's just, I just honestly can't believe that I got to the point where I can do a video and upload it. Now, we won't talk about editing, but I remember at one point my grandson was here. Well, both were, but the older one, who lives in the States. Anyway, he was here, and I said, geez, can you kind of help me with this? And of course, at that time, he was probably 12. So, I mean, at that point, we were just trying to kind of figure out, I had kind of a really crummy setup for my phone. I knew I didn't want to use a DSLR camera or anything like that. I wanted to keep my input costs as low as possible. I mean, I have gotten in the past, excuse me, in the past I have gotten, you know, engrossed in something, went off the deep end, invested a whole bunch of money in things and books and courses and whatever, only eventually to, you know, give up or lose interest or whatever. So I certainly didn't want, you know, to fall into that trap. Excuse me. Oh, you know what? I need to add more brights here. I've gotten carried away with the kit, and I've forgotten, oh, more stripes. That's not a stripe. Well, clearly, if there's only one left, I have to use it. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So this poor kid is trying to explain something to me, and it wasn't really taking. The lesson wasn't really taking. And then I got my daughter to help me. And of course, she doesn't make videos either. So, you know, it's almost like the blind leading the blind, although she is more tech savvy than I am. I can also use some of these strips, but we'll see. Let me use this. I guess I shouldn't be so afraid to cover something. So yeah, it was, you know, using inadequate tools, having kind of inadequate advice. At one point I tried using iMovie for editing and so on, but honestly, I've already said, I feel a sense of urgency. I'm not going to spend the best years of my life, or the remaining years of my life, editing videos. I can't see that happening, guys. I'm throwing this away. Forgive me. Did you see how the earth trembled right there? Yikes. Oh, and I also have this turquoisey stuff that I definitely want to use. Kind of unrelated though, isn't it? Maybe I should save it to use with this instead. Yes, we'll do that. Yeah. So anyway, yes, the point I'm trying to make is that I know I'm really engaged in doing these videos. I really enjoy it. Okay, these are all basically in the blue family. I do want to try to incorporate some pink though, so put that aside. A little purpley there. There's some pink. That's reddy orange. Don't have that many more gaps to fill, so maybe I'll see how far I can stretch this. Okay, so I've got kind of 4 pieces. Maybe I'll put that one there. I'll use these little guys first and then decide what. I have to say that my productivity has also soared. Soared? Is there such a word as... Anyway, soared. Since doing this 100-day project. I still find it counterintuitive. Oh, big glob of glue. I also find it hard, kind of counterintuitive to do all the social media stuff that's required. I'm especially not good with Facebook. And I think that's because I always thought and this is just between you and me, I thought Facebook was leading to the decline of civilization as we knew it. And I was the sort of mother that always warned my daughter, because of course my son wasn't on Facebook, as a young woman, warned her against the evils of Facebook and other social media sites, because, you know, sometimes, and I don't even know how old she was, to be honest, but you just kind of, you don't want your kids to be harmed. You want to protect them against some of the things, the pitfalls that other kids have fallen into. In Canada, of course, there was that, don't think I'm going to be able to remember her name, that little girl, maybe she was 14 or so, that had been bullied and blackmailed by a sexual predator somewhere in Europe, to the point that she was so desperate that she ended up committing suicide. And her final, I guess, videos were basically her holding up these cards. So she didn't speak. She was just like cue cards, almost like you would see kind of in the movies, or on a late night show. So basically, I guess, expressing her anguish and the fact that, you know, that was the only way she could, the only out she could see. And, you know, that is so, it's so terribly sad. It's so, you know, the devastation to the family. I know her mother has been part of some, I don't know if there's an actual piece of federal legislation or whatever, but of course, sometimes when parents are just bowled over and devastated by, you know, something that has happened to their children, they become advocates and get on a crusade to make things better for those that come after them. So I know that woman has been pretty active in sort of, you know, advocating for and trying to make changes legislatively. So, you know, more power to her. Yeah, so Facebook wasn't something I intuitively gravitated to. And then when I worked as a contract festival coordinator for 10 years, coordinating a Ukrainian festival here in our part of the world, I was forced to join the 21st century, maybe the 20th century, and learn how to post and manage a page and all that jazz. Because of course it is, whether I like it or not, a recognized way that people, I could do that way. A recognized way that people get messages out free. So maybe we'll just try to sort of cut this or tear this one in half. I'm sure one of those sides will be wide and will be the right size. Anyway, so I got the basic skills and, you know, did okay with it. Still didn't care for it, but I did it. So I do have that basic understanding. Now, with Instagram, I can set up, although it doesn't seem to work with Reels, I can set it up so that just a normal post can be shared automatically to Facebook. And because that's happening automatically, I never actually go to Facebook and see what the heck is happening on my page. I also don't want to cross the line and use people who followed me as the festival coordinator to reach out to them to follow this new endeavor. I gave up the contract of my own volition, and but I still don't want to kind of take advantage in any way or open myself to that criticism. Maybe I'll just try to take that little white edge off a bit there. Now, I did early on join a couple of, I want to say celebrity junk journaler people, their Facebook groups. But again, it's not something that I intuitively reach out to do. So I have to, I guess, put more effort into that. Because excuse me, apparently that is a way to reach out to, you know, obviously to people and maybe a certain demographic, my own demographic. So yeah, I don't know. And maybe I just have to sort of handpick some of the smaller channels and, you know, where it's more, you know, it's not 10,000 members. It is something more kind of scaled down to this small town girl here. Okay, so that is pretty well complete. I mean, every part is covered, but now these little stripy areas look so I was going to say so bare, sort of. Maybe they're a resting place for the eye. Where are my scissors? I'm going to trim the edges off just for a more realistic feel for where the paper actually ends. And maybe I should, oh, I can also attach some focal point, or not, glue down some focal points. I have several of those Bohemian women images. I'm talking about, you know, the vintage ones, not the ones from the kit. Oh, and I also have those itty bitty pieces from the collage strip freebie that Rachel did. I also wish that if you have an opinion or an experience or an understanding of why some people do live streaming, if you know the answer, clue me in. I remember early on when I was just, I probably was subscribing to, you know, maybe 50 or 100 channels. I don't even know what the number is now, but it's considerably higher than that. I would see that somebody has done, you know, has live streamed a video for 3 hours. I'm thinking, OMG. I don't have, again, that sense of urgency, not a spring chicken. I don't have 3 hours to spend with any single person. And I find too, and maybe, who knows, you know, never say never. Maybe I'll be doing a live someday too. But I find it very distressing that people are wasting time, you know, sort of looking at their computer and then saying hi, you know, and blah, 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 and welcome. I'm thinking, that's not what I came here for. Just just show me what you want to show me. I don't know, is that kind of a bad attitude? Am I going to get drummed out of the junk journal community for saying that? Like, really? Let me get these things out of my sight. Not sight. That sounds bad. That sounds like I don't like them. I did have a clip, I thought. Oh, yeah, there it is. So that I can see what I need to see. Okay, so I do have the circles. But maybe I should, instead, I should be looking for those women. So I'll just bring those closer to the action here. Now on something like this, I could definitely use some bigger images, knowing that they will be, so some, I guess not all of them are sort of, I probably don't want to do the black and whites though. I don't know where these strips came from. Sorry guys, I should have pre-selected some. It'd be kind of good maybe to stay in the same color family if I can. Although they will be, oops. They will be, look how poorly that one printed. That's when you need, when you have a blockage. I probably have enough there to get started. Oh, look at her, snazzy. Okay, let's see how far we get with those. Okie dokie, so there's, okay, these are kind of yellowy. These are more reddy. This one probably will not get used this time. You know what would be kind of nice? Let me just create some space here so that I can actually see what's happening. And I don't know about you, but my preference always, okay, this gal is looking that way. I would not put her over here and have her look outside the the frame. I would have her on this side of the page, so she's looking inward. Likewise with this one. So if we use that as our guide, we kind of see where these girls fit best. And again, I'm probably subconsciously trying to cover up these stripes. Now, in a case like this, when this master board is done, I would not be cutting this blind. I would be definitely doing it from this side so as not to cut anybody's face in half. I have this one too that I feel like she should be used. So, this one could go either way. So maybe she can go there. She can go there. She can go there. She can go there. And what I momentarily considered is actually fussy cutting around these girls, women. Some of them would be easy enough to do, you know, it wouldn't take much effort, but then try to imagine it without those backgrounds. The background gives one's eye a place to rest against all that busyness underneath. Oh, and what about the stenciling? Huh. Maybe that has to be on the next one. Because the next one I do is on cardstock. So yes, I will begin with stenciling on this one. Geez, we're almost at the hour mark, guys. That's what happens when you don't do any prep work ahead of time. Okay, I think, just for the heck of it, I am going to quickly cut around this gal because I don't think that black really adds anything. So we'll see if we like that. I will see if I like that. You can have your opinion at home, and you can, you know, yell at the computer or the TV if you think I've made an error in judgment. And then you know what you do, what you should do when you're faced with a situation like this. Now, that has lost some of its impact. So maybe this gal has to come in. What I will do with all of these, because I do have the space, is tear around the edges. Let me just get on that. Tear around the edges so that it's not so very sharp an edge. Oh, hate when that happens. Let me try to hurry. Let me put this aside so you can see what I'm doing. And I don't know whether you can tell or not, but I do try to sometimes be relatively straight by, you know, picking a marking on the ruler so that it's somewhat straight. I think just tearing down these edges will also serve to make these women fit in a little better here on the collage page. And of course, I don't have to tear the same amount. And I also think I should be using this side. Tear the same amount off here. And I better not lose my positioning. I'll be starting that all over again. Maybe what I'll do is I'll glue. Okay, I've torn. I will have, whoa, almost tore the top of her headpiece off. Why is this working so poorly? Trying to put pressure. Okay, what I think I'll do is I've almost torn 3. I've torn these 3 girls. I will attach them and then you'll get a feel for, and I'll do the rest later. Clean up this mess because it's bound to interfere in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I think I wanted her up here. Don't want these girls to look like they've been stacked one above the other. Oh, I should also keep in mind signature pages. Maybe these girls at the bottom or at the top should be kind of closer to there, to either the top or the bottom, so that when I cut this down into a signature page, you know, the other part, the remainder, will still be usable. It'll be, you know, 4 inches or so. Why don't I actually do that? That's maybe more planning than some of you would be in favor of. But let's see. 8 inches. I don't think my pages can afford to be 8 inches. So let's say if I did 4.5, that would give me 7.5. Or my page is 7.5. Give you a little sneak peek. There's the cover, or what I've done so far. So let's just see. 7 3/4. Okay, 7 3/4. Let's just draw a little line-a-runo here. And then we'll make sure no one gets decapitated in the course of the cutting. Just going to draw a faint line here. I can, oh, there she is. I was going to see if I can find my other. Oh, that's so faint I can't see it. Did I actually make contact with the paper? Not in the first half. Okay, I don't know whether you can see it, but I can, so I guess that's what matters. Because I'm the girl who's gluing. Oh, I've lost some of my positioning now. Okay, so we want to make sure that kind of these people are where they need to be. So those, so down here we'll only end up with 2, unless I choose to add this girl down here. Anyway, let's concentrate, for the time being, let's concentrate on the upper part of the page, because that will become a signature page. Now this, okay, this is 12 inches though. Aye. How wide are these pages? Why didn't somebody tell me to measure that while I was at it? So of course, some of these have to be trimmed. And I haven't added anything to the edges of any of these pages. So I would say, to be on the safe side, I should say 10 inches. 10 inches. Now, since I've already glued her down, I can leave it at 12, but understanding that I'm going to mark 10 inches because there will be probably 2 inches turned back. So you're probably wondering, why am I not, okay, why don't I just, so we said that this was going to, I said that this was going to be a masterboard. However, I don't want anyone's heads cut off. And I do know that I want, sorry, I'm just trying to free up a space on my table here where I can cut this up without cutting either these cutting boards or my brown paper. So I don't need an 18-inch ruler for that. Thank you very much. A 12-inch ruler would be good, though. Okay, first of all, let me find a knife. Let me cut down this line. And we know what we're working with. I mean, if it was anything other than human beings, I wouldn't be doing this because it wouldn't matter. Now, I'm not going to cut this the other way, but I will do the folding. Okay, I think I can remember what I was planning there. So, okay, that one's... I think it's better to go this way. Okay, where's my pencil? Okay, who took my pencil? Who took my pencil? Who took my pencil? I'm going to, again, just to be, I could use this, I suppose. Line it squared up on this grid here. And I think just to be on the safe side, because, you know, if I had a nickel for every time I've had to refold. So I think what I'm going to do is fold this back against my ruler at the 2 1/4 mark. So that means that is how it's going to look and in fact, let's go a step further and fold the rest of this over. Oh, how come it doesn't look even? Well, that's a fine how do you do. Something clearly is going to need to be trimmed there. Okay. Okay, so this will be what the page looks like. Let's pull this paper back in. It'll be a little easier to look at this against brown. Sorry guys, I didn't intend for this to take so long. I need a swig of water. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this stuff that we don't need. So this is how it will sit in the journal. Glue pages. Knife closed, bone folder thrown with wild abandon. You know, I was too quick putting everything back into place. Let me square this up because this annoys me to no end. Where did I go wrong here? So basically, okay, I'm assuming that fold needs to be where it needs to be. And I've squared, I don't know, can you see? No, barely. Okay. Sometimes you just need to slap something. Okay. So I hope you can see I've lined up the edge of the fold there. This supposedly is a factory edge on that paper. So then I'm going to slide this down, line it up with a new set of marks there, because I just want to trim off the part that is, and again, it doesn't need to be this precise, but honestly, what went wrong there? Like, that's one of life's unsolved mysteries. Did you see how that moved at the last minute? Maybe that's how things go wrong. Slippery little bugger. Okay. So I have to do this again. My goodness. Okay, that's lined up, that's lined up. So I have this little sliver to take off here. Maybe I don't have enough of my blade sticking out. Okay, so I've got these slivers cut off. Before I go too far, let me find this thing and see if it's out of whack. Okay, so this could be a small page. Four and a quarter. Or it could be probably more likely it'll be tags. So, is this thing out of square? Yes, it is. So obviously I cut it crooked. Or maybe that's how good my measuring was. Okay, I think that because I'm running out of space to do this properly, I'll leave this part. And I will, when I trim this down to whatever width, now I've got her plunk down there, so I could get 2 tags and a pocket. Again, here I go with this stupid paper. Okay, let's do that, and then I'll see where it's out of square. So maybe the first thing I'll do, I think, so if I line that up at the 7-inch mark, then we know that that is going to leave me a 5-inch. Move over so you can see a little better. What I was saying is if I line this up, top and side at the 7-inch mark, this leaves me a 5-inch pocket. You know, the damn thing slid over at the last minute. So, okay, let's just see if this is somewhat square. Doesn't look too bad. I shouldn't be putting you guys through this. If you leave at this point, I won't be surprised. If you like to see people torture themselves, you'll hang in there a few minutes longer. Okay, but in this case, my pages are barely, okay, I'm going to have to make this narrower because my page is barely 5 inches. Or what did I say, 5 1/4? So I'm going to cut that there. Mind you, it's got that nice paper at the back. That might be a flip. I was going to do a notch there, but maybe I'll just leave it because a flip would let us see both sides. Okay, so we're going to throw that aside. Now we know that that gal is already there, so we have to make sure that she is not chopped up. And I can have her offset like so. See, that's crooked. Let me do this one first because this is the outer edge. So that is a right angle. So we'll slide this over. And then I'll have to straighten this edge because it's not. I'll get her fairly close to the edge. And then I can, attach trim or ribbon or something there. Now this is crooked. So let us see how badly it's out. Doesn't really look like it's out. Oh, just a sliver. Crazy, but I'll cut it. Was that worth all of that? Not sure. Okay, so I have room there to add lace or... I can't tell you how glad, and I know I didn't invent this, but with small quantities of lace or ribbon, I've been gradually emptying spools and transferring them to these clothes pegs. And oh my God, they take so much less space. I'll take pictures of my ribbon drawers once I have this kind of all figured out. But, oh, and I also have this. How cool is that? Mind you, that feels more like it should be here. Or hanging in her face. Oh, look at that. Her face is right in between two. It's like I planned it that way. We'll see what happens with her. I can't keep you here much longer. Okay. So let me finish gluing those girls down. Because really, this is crazy. Oh, I didn't finish looking at this to see if it is square. Nope. Tomorrow, when I'm taping this on Saturday, what day is it? 17th, maybe? Yeah, 17th. So tomorrow's Father's Day. So we will be going out to the keg. I don't know if the keg exists in the States or all across Canada or not. I don't know if it's one of those places that started in Edmonton. I keep forgetting to brag as though it was I had anything to do with it. To brag about the fact that Boston Pizza began in Edmonton. Like, I think I just learned that recently, or if I knew it before, I forgot. Goodness gracious. You know, maybe, and I've said this before, but clearly a slow learner, it's probably not wise to try to do 3 or 4 videos in a day. Person kind of gets punch drunk after a while. Anyway, yeah, Boston Pizza, an Edmonton, Alberta, Canada invention. And I probably didn't tell you. When we were in Calgary, what month was that? Might have been April. My grandson was up from the States competing in a tournament. Anyway, of course, it was a big thrill for them to go to a Boston Pizza because they don't have them. And of course, because they're Canadians, they remember Boston Pizza before they moved, blah, blah, blah. So we went there. Anyway, at this particular location, I don't know if this is true at all. I'm sure it's not true at all locations. And so these 2 grandsons and us, of course, and my daughter and her boyfriend, partner, our order comes to the table, brought to our table by a robotic server. Well, I'm telling you, even the old timers in the group, like us, were gobsmacked by that. See, good thing I didn't glue this girl down because she would have been right on the fold. So I have actually too many pieces here now, but that's fine. Okay, so this one was torn around so I can glue her down. Anyway, so we're just amazed. So this thing is about, I'd say 4.5 feet tall. And it has the shelves to it. Excuse me. So, you know, the entrees are on these shelves. There were maybe 3 shelves. And so, of course, a human being has to come along and take the food off the tray and give it to the right person, because as smart as that little guy was, he didn't know who ordered what. So, of course, we're just mesmerized by this. And the guy that came with the robot, you know, he was pretty young. And I said, oh, is that your little brother that brought the food? And I said, oh, but you still have to put it out there. I said, so he's not really trying to get your job, is he? Anyway, so we had a wee bit of fun with that. And then I said, to our more senior waiter, or to our actual waiter, who was just incredible. I mean, incredible. You know, what I could have done here, that's going to need to be inked. What I could have done here is let this gal, for instance, be a pocket. So maybe what I'll have to do is that on that side. Anyway, I said, so does this computer. I don't think they gave him a name, to be honest. So they must program him for the table location. So he knew that he was coming to whatever our table number was. I said, does he also pick up the dirty dishes? But again, you need a human being for that. So no, he didn't do that. You know what would be kind of nice here? Again, I'm telling stories and I'm with this. But that has almost nothing to do with the colors that are. But she wouldn't look that good with pink, would she? I'm just thinking she'd be kind of a flimsy little pocket if I don't give her kind of a matte. That's almost like a waste of embossed paper, though, because it would all be covered by her. Oh, that's embossed also, but very lightly. What the heck? I guess if you look hard, you could see that color on it. Poor job of embossing. Okay, let me stop. But is that the right person? Okay, I'm just going to glue her down, give her a bit of a border, at that little bit of embossing, extend past her. He said no, the robot doesn't come for the dirty dishes. And I guess you can imagine, you know, you need a human being that's going to pick up the plates, the cutlery, the the squashed up napkins, you know, all of that stuff. So, yeah, that was rather interesting. I hadn't seen that before or since. So, anyway, how did I get from Father's Day and the Keg, which is a steakhouse? And, you know, I'm a carnivore, so I like a well-done steak, and goodness knows I don't know how to do it, so. But I can almost predict that tomorrow everyone is going to order steak, probably except me, who will order instead the pistachio encrusted salmon, which is also delicious. You know, I wonder if this edge of this quilt ruler is getting chewed away. Yeah, there's a divot there. It can't be, as I'm fond of saying, operator. Oh, how about cutting the other side? Oh, you know what? I could do something like, but that's so thick. No, let's not. Yeah. We don't want to blame it on operator error. And again, sorry about this rustling and about the fact that I'm moving things back and forth, in and out. Oh, Let's get about the same amount showing, if we can. And again, you know, I'm sure that everyone has seen somebody cut paper before, so don't feel bad if I'm out of range and you miss that part. Just move along, people. There's nothing to see here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so I can turn her into a tuck spot by adding some art glitter glue, or not a tuck spot, but a pocket. Now, what else did I have planned for this page? Now that I've cut it and turned it into a signature, going with the whole idea of all those women's faces doesn't seem as critical an idea anymore. I could offset her and then something attractive could be sticking out. Not this, but, you know, a lot of it would be showing. Okay, so we'll offset her. We'll put her close to the... Do I want... What was that butterfly thing? Too much, too much, too much, too much. I can't think anymore. I can't do this in front of you. I have to stop. She's kind of lost on there, to be honest. She's not big enough herself to hold the page. Maybe this gal has to do it. And maybe she gets tucked in there. Okay, what I'm probably going to do, well, I will add some lace or something to this. It does make it a little bit thick, but, whoops. Okay, things are dropping like flies here. I'm quitting. This is a really long video, guys. I hope that you've hung in there with me. If you haven't, though, I guess you're not going to hear me say this. Anyway, thank you for joining me. And we will just carry on working through the 100-day project and through How Boho Can You Go. Thanks. See you.